Hi, Mary. How are you doing? How has your week been?
Oh my gosh, it's been so exciting. We've finally got Tina Lifford to be our keynote speaker at this September's Women's Conference, September 27th, everyone. Pay attention to that date because she is a famous author, artist, actress, and great speaker. Inspirational is the word I was trying to find. Inspirational speaker. So I know it's going to be a wonderful conference.
That is really exciting.
It is. And she has a new book coming out called Inner Fitness. And I think that's going to be
an interesting title.
Yes.
Inner Fitness. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we are here today with Carolyn Handley, who is a nurse, an ER nurse at that, and is married to a surgeon who happens to be an African American man. And so we're very interested in hearing how you have negotiated the expectation of society being in a mixed marriage.
Hi, everybody. My name's Carolyn, as Lenny mentioned. Well, I got married when I was 26 to an African American male who is 14 years older than I am. And, to be completely honest with everybody, I never saw him as a color, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does.
I never dated anyone who was black. I had a boyfriend before my husband for 6 years who was white, and I never thought anything about it. I met him at work, and we just had a spark and fell in love with each other, and it was difficult at first. I remember my parents were not racially biased at all. However, I remember my dad saying something to me at one point before we got married. He said, "Are you worried about anyone burning crosses on your lawn?"
Wow.
And I said, no. Never occurred to me. And fortunately, we live in a very safe place in San Diego, California, where there's not a lot of hate crimes and things like that. So I haven't really had to worry about that, thankfully. But throughout the years, honestly, because I don't look at my husband as being a different color than me, I don't even notice anything being against us in terms of being a mixed couple. I've never felt any racism or anything like that. I will say, however, one thing, I'm just going to be completely honest with the group here, that is a little bothersome to me, and I'm just being raw. When we do go to things like jazz festivals that we love to join, there tend to be mixed couples there, and I feel like I'm boxed into that group.
Oh, interesting.
Where I feel like it's because we're mixed, then we're boxed in with the mixed people that are there at that group, and it bothers me because I don't see myself that way. I don't identify myself as being the mixed couple. I see myself as just being a couple.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, but can you maybe help me to better understand? So that group, what is the box that you feel?
They want to hang out. They want to, so like, let's all have dinner together. So there's 3 couples that are mixed, and let's have dinner together. Whereas we also know just white people or just black people together, but it's like the 6 people that are there mixed.
I see. I get it. Yeah.
They want you to join them.
Yes.
Yeah. Because because they feel maybe that
There's
you'd better
commonality.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah, a commonality there. But you're not really, from what I'm hearing, you don't really identify with that commonality.
No.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain this, and my mother-in-law would kill me, but Bucky is the whitest black person I've ever met in my entire life. If I can say that on a podcast, sorry. But he is, people ask my husband all the time, what island are you from? Like, he doesn't even look like, he's not the prototypical, what you think in your mind as, and I hate to, I how do I say this kindly, or appropriately? Can I say what I want?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He is not the black rapper with the chains on his neck, and I'm not trying to box that in either. I'm just saying that Bucky is a very
I would call him sophisticated.
No tats, no earrings. Not that is what we expect. I'm just saying that I think people are surprised by his appearance sometimes because he's just very clean shaped, just very
Would conservative be?
conservative. And so people look at him and they think, where are you from? Like, what ethnicity are you? Like, what are you? And he's always like, I'm from St. Louis. I'm African American. I was born in Georgia. So I think I'm just so used to that persona or that how he is, that when I meet up with other couples that maybe have a different experience, maybe I just don't identify the same way.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Nothing to be sorry about.
No.
I think that, unfortunately, okay, I'm going to be prejudiced in this respect, Americans, because so I'm really stereotyping because not all Americans are like this, but in America, through our social media,
Mm-hmm.
through TV,
Mm-hmm.
through commercials, we have created who an African American is.
Right.
Man and woman. And some of that has been incredibly negative.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the same thing with Mexicans,
Mm-hmm.
right? That they have to belong to a gang. They have to be involved in
Mm-hmm.
drugs. They have to have, been imprisoned or,
Mm-hmm.
had bad things happen to them, right? With the legal system or with police. And actually, many have had bad things. That's a different story, right? But we have almost demonized and not seen people in other groups
Humanity.
as humans. And our TV hasn't shown like just a caring family,
Mm-hmm.
which most people are just caring families,
Right.
trying to get by each day and do the best for themselves and their family, right?
Well, I think essentially, regardless of who you are, what color you are, what religious beliefs that you have, we all want the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to see our children grow up and be happy. We want to be happy and we want to have a roof over our heads, eat every day. It's essentially we all want the same thing, except we all go about it in different ways.
Yes.
So
I think that is the truth. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we get other pictures.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then sometimes many Americans will then just glom onto
Mhm.
that being
Mm-hmm.
the truth because they haven't had their own experience of
Mhm.
what that might be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you have the experience because you're living with
Yeah.
him, you're loving him.
But it literally, like, I keep going back to this, and I apologize, but it's like I don't even look at Bucky as being a different color.
You don't see it.
I don't see it, and he gets bothered sometimes by that because he actually doesn't. He actually understands how I feel, but his mother,
Okay.
is extremely, we are African American, it's the village, it's this, she's never accepted me. I mean, we get along, you know,
Sort of.
sort of. But I know how she feels in her heart. But and I've just accepted it. There's nothing I can do about it. But it's we're African American. We are, she's white. She's the white princess. Blah blah blah, and she's young and whatever. But and I've tried not to do anything, to put anyone in a bad situation. I just sit in the corner and I usually just keep my mouth shut. But I don't know where I was going with this, but I was just gonna say that it's been, being in a mixed couple has been hard in terms of his family. My family has been completely accepting of it. I'm sure they had their concerns at first, and I was so young, but now it's been so many years that it's kind of like, what's the point? But it's still a point of contention in on his side of the family.
What about when you go out, for example, to dinner and go places together? How have people received?
Perfect.
Really?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's
I've
good
never
to hear.
felt
Yeah,
any.
it really is.
I really have never honestly felt anything.
Has he felt anything?
I think one time we went to Europe and we were in, I think it was Monte Carlo, and we went to a cafe, and for some reason this really bothered him. Whatever happened, and I don't think I even realized it, but he felt that the service was lacking in terms of they ignored us for a while or whatever, and he took it as an offense. And I don't think I just noticed. I just wasn't paying attention to it, and it really bothered him. And it will come up every now and then that he said I was really bothered by that. But other than that one example, I don't think we've just been blessed in our lives that we've met so many great people that just don't even.
So what do you think it is about you that have been able to navigate this so elegantly?
Love. I love God, and God is love, and I want to be love here, and I just doesn't bother
So do
me.
you feel that energy that you exude has been sort of a protective seal from you? That's really interesting.
Well, maybe even more than a protective seal, maybe the love that you both have for one another, and definitely the love you have, is translated to people, or people feel that energy and so are drawn to it rather than stepping away from it.
I think so. Not to be prideful, but just in a humble way. I feel that if you exude a certain energy, and for me it's love, people are attracted to that. I think that if you're negative, or you feel you're worried about how people think about you, people draw to that, or they feel that. They feel it.
Yeah.
And then they
or they sense a weakness, and so then they attack. But if they see two people who are very strong together and very confident,
right,
and very loving,
right,
how can you attack that?
But it can also be intimidating.
Yes.
Like from a mother-in-law.
Yes.
So I think my mother-in-law, my husband's the oldest out of her 3 children, and she depended on him a lot through her divorce from his father when he was young. And then she was married for 35 years to another man who was amazing. And, but she's always depended on Bucky to be kind of the backbone of the family. And because he's so loyal to me, and
would you call that maybe a little bit of jealousy?
Yes. And I hate to say that because I'm not trying to be prideful, but yes.
Truth is the truth.
Well, I think sometimes mothers, no matter what their color is, right? Mothers want their sons to love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she told me when we got married, she said, "You may be his wife, but I'll always be his mother."
Yes, yeah,
There's
yeah.
some truth in
Yeah.
that. But
I was like, okay. And that was 25 years ago, and she still wants to be a number one. And she just hasn't accepted the fact that that's not normal nature. You know, your son does move on and have his own family. And the one thing I will say to your podcast listeners, the one piece of advice that was the best advice my mother, or the best, I don't know if it was advice, the best saying that my mother ever gave me was, now that you're getting married, he's your immediate family and we're your extended family.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
that was
Yeah.
graceful.
Mm-hmm.
That was graceful.
And I was very close to my mother. I mean,
Yeah.
she lived in San Diego, like we were 20 minutes apart. But she was never the one that knocked on the door every day. She just, you now have your family. That's your nucleus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you speak about love. And it reminds me of a quote by the Dalai Lama. And he said that if we wish to survive as a species, only loving kindness will make us survive. And I thought that was a bit over the top when I heard it, but when I really thought about it, it really is the only way.
Yes.
It really is the only way. Understanding, kindness, tolerance, patience, and understanding that people have their story and it affects them and the way that they see the rest of the world and people in it.
And we're not the judge.
That's right.
Right.
So
But we forget that.
Yes,
most of
but
the
we,
time.
we sure love to judge, though.
right, but I think that being loving and not judging go hand in hand.
Yes.
We're not the judge.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's going to be a judge one day. It's not me.
Mhm.
And so while I'm here on this earth, I'm just here to love and just accept who we all are. And you may not agree with everybody and what they do, but it doesn't mean that you're here to judge them or, you know, place any sort of value. It just, let's just exist and love each other.
Yes,
Yes.
I think that,
Yeah.
and I think that's a wonderful way to.
Well, I do want to say one thing, though. I was thinking about, I am the mother of a son, just one son. And I love him probably more than anything on this planet. But I was incredibly happy when he found the love of his life. And to me, so it's hard for me to understand a mother who would still expect that she'd be number one. When we want our children, I would think, to be happy and to find such deep love. Yeah. To me, if he was just loving me, I'd be like, okay, that's sort of sad. I guess I would appreciate it on some respect, but by him
see,
loving
where,
something else increases his love, and I
Right.
think even increases his love of me too.
Right. And and not to go on another tangent, but just to sum this up, but what you're saying is that I think my thing that I have to deal with is that it's pride.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pride there.
Yeah.
And it's taught, not on my end, I'm talking about the other end, but I think that it's taught me to be humble.
Oh.
And that humility is really what we should be all about. And when pride consumes you, then you have that attitude. And I can't change it. And I stopped trying a long time ago. So I'm just happy with the fact that my husband loves me. And he deals with it the best he can. And so
Wow.
I'm happy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah,
and I think
really.
that's a perfect way to end
And
this.
yeah, thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
wonderful. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having me.
Of
Oh,
course.
you're welcome. I
Thank you
just
for
love
being
the
here.
fact that you spoke about love, because I really think this is where it is
Yes.
all
Yes.
at for all of,
Yeah.
and especially now.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.